Well, good evening all, and welcome to a new season, and with that, a new Olympic cycle. 2024, those Paris Games are done and dusted, and they are well behind us now as we step into 2025. We've got a few athlete introductions. You are watching the World Tour in pole vault. It's back for this indoor campaign, and we've got 6 meetings over the next 6 weeks or so. We are here high up in the French Alps, 1,500 meters above sea level in Decisive, in this ski resort here. You can see packed into this indoor arena, this bouldering center, and these runways, temporary, made of course 50 meters or so long to give these athletes a chance to really gain some speed. As we look literally where we are and the surrounding area, spoiled for scenery. And we pan back to this indoor arena for a few of these introductions throughout the evening. I mean, we have got some superb, mainly French talent this early on in the season. A lot of international and global athletes not willing to travel quite as much as they continue to kind of hone in on their skills, get in that base work and training before they look to open their seasons as well. Of course, we'll have one eye on the road to Nanjing, and another year in another World Indoor Championships. That one postponed way back in 2020, of course. We're finally going to have it take place in 2025. And the European Indoor Championships in Apeldoorn as well. They'll take place in early March. And there he is then, Mathieu Koller. Special athlete to look out for. He really is, coached by his father Philippe, and Thibaut Koller, his brother, younger brother, goes in this one as well. So you can see some of the lifetime best on display, 4:20, and perhaps a good time to slowly introduce the jump heights and the jump order that's going to take place in that bar climb, as they call it. It's a women's competition is going to start at 4 meters in 1 centimeter. And that men's competition is going to start at 5 meters in 26 centimeters and step up from there in sort of 15 centimeter increments until it gets to 566, and then it will be going up in 10 centimeter increments. So you can probably see the 2 runways as well on your screen. Here's one of the international athletes though, Nuria Galindo of Spain, coming into this competition, and perhaps someone you look at and can she make a bit of an impact. 4:20 lifetime best, but just 19 years of age, and she was 6th at those World Under-20 Championships this year out in Lima. And again, not quite the same elevation as this today. This might be a new experience for a few, jumping at this level of this height of altitude there as well. And here comes Danbury. 4:01. She's one of the few athletes to actually have a season's best at this stage. Very, very early January. But these pole vaulters, they can operate at an extremely high level all season long. And I think when you look at those World Championships, for some of the top performers in this one, all the way in September, they've got time to really come out and have multiple seasons throughout the year. Well, there's Valentin Lavillenie then. Continues to live up to his namesake and continues to perform out here as well. Got married in 2024, back end of 2024. So he goes into this with new motivation, into the new year with new motivation. The European Indoor silver medalist back in 2021. So as you can see, we're going to have 12 men and 12 women compete on each runway. Both pretty much at the same time. They're taking in turns and alternate. Crowd won't be able to take their eyes off the action. They have to be very in tune, just like me and you at home as well. And I'll try and bring you all the updates as the meeting unfolds. Where's Berenice Petit then? Another athlete to look out for, one who could potentially challenge 4:34, her lifetime best. And a regular at this competition over the last couple of years. 5th last year and 8th at those French Outdoor Championships. And by the way, Justin Depay comes in as he gets welcomed into the arena. And French vaulting in general is just in a fantastic place right now. And you look at this world tour and how many of them are located in France within the pole vault, and they really are pushing to raise the bar, excuse the pun, within this discipline. Think of what Grand Slam track is doing, and I say specifically track. Will it take meetings like this to grow and grow and grow over the years in order to give these athletes, one, a place to compete, and the exposure and the recognition they also deserve, and a platform to perform? Well, there's the Italian who comes into this one, Bertelli Simon, 20-year-old, very, very strong long jumper as well. Competed at the European Championships in Rome, and Elise Rossis comes out to an excited crowd here in Devoluy. As I mentioned, snow all around, but plenty warm enough for these athletes to compete in here. In perfect conditions. It's one of the reasons pole vaulters do love indoors. They can always count on these conditions. Thierry Baptistin, he is someone that we really need to look at for potentially the win here. The 23-year-old, he's had a fantastic youth career. He's in the previous national champion in the pole vault, 9th at those European Championships, and the meeting record holder. So he enters this arena full of confidence, similar to Dordain here as well. The Bordeaux athlete who coincidentally hosts this next pole vault world tour. And the friendships these athletes build, you can see, very comfortable around one another. They'll probably be sharing runways over the next 6 weeks as well. And you can see a good contingent from China have made the trip over and really looking, even though they are hosting that World Championships, to come to Europe, but perhaps one eye on getting their world ranking spots up. And it is one of the ways you can qualify, despite getting that qualification mark. World ranking points are probably going to have to come into play. The top 12 will be able to perform at those World Indoor Championships. So I think some of these men will be looking to do just that, and they're going to have to compete on the World Tour circuit like they are today to have the best shot in doing so. Well, there's Menno Vloen then. Hugely experienced, this man. 5.96 lifetime best. 5.92 last year. The 13 times Dutch champion. And the list goes on. More on him as the competition unfolds at Devoluy. Well, and this it could be the introduction of Mary Jolie Bonat. She comes in lifetime best of 4 meters in 70. Under 23 European champion just a couple years ago now. Believe it or not, time flying by. French champion and 11th at those Olympic Games in Paris. Tapping onto the world stage, breaking into that top 12. And she at the moment on the road to Nanjing, sitting in 17th place. And another man then on a par with Bonat on the women's side. Koller, the younger of the two Koller brothers, enters the arena. Perhaps disappointed with his performance in Paris, especially after 5th at those World Championships in 2023 and 6th at the World Indoors, not to make the final. But he'll be making amends in 2025. I have no doubt about that. And this is what it's about. It's a tough realization for some of these athletes when they don't reach their dreams in an Olympic year. Others will be very, very pleased with the way 2024 would have panned out and how it all happened. And they perhaps would be struggling for motivation and sort of as they get into this winter campaign, the realization of, my goodness, I've got to do it all again. I've got to raise the bar. I've got to get stuck into another training cycle. And some will be hungrier than ever to get this campaign going. So here we are then, just a quick summary and introducing you, of course, to all the athletes participating throughout this evening's action. Valentin Lavillenie, Sawane as well. Those two late additions to this in December. They were not on the start list, but we've had the dropout of the likes of Robin Emig and Anthony Amarati, which is quite a shame to be honest with you. And of course, the meet record holder, Pedro Barro of Portugal, was due to participate here as well. And the women's side then, just two Spaniards in this one. Naira Perez Galindo, the 19-year-old, the youngster, and as well, we must mention Andrea San Jose, second at those Spanish indoors last year, third outdoors. She is a regular competing for a national title and lifetime best, however, coming from 2021, which 4 years ago now. So can she get near that 442 lifetime best, even as early as we are in January? Many athletes would expect to build through the year, but there is quite a few competitors in these fields tonight who set their season's best or even lifetime best at this meeting last year, and I think it shows you the power and strength of this meeting. Frank Roland as well, the event organizer, has done a great job at developing this world tour and everything it stands for as well, bringing that pole vault community together. And I think you could safely say it's one of the few events in the world which does have a community. And athletes know each other inside and out. They travel together and they're all just willing to drive on their discipline. And other field events don't have these meetings, don't have these exclusive world tours that we see, and even other track events don't have it. And it's something that the pole vault really is leading the way. And I don't know if that's down to some of the stars we've had. Le Villani, his older brother Ranu, for one. And of course now, Mondo Duplantis and everything he's doing for this sport and driving it forward and putting it out there on the map. I guess one of the most traditional disciplines in track and field. So here we go then, Le Villani, first attempt to bar at 5:21 to get the World Tour underway. Comfortable clearance for him. And as you would expect, he'll take a little bit of information from that as well, just how his speed was, run up, everything like that. And where those bars on the side were, did he get enough depth? Difficult to see from this camera angle, wasn't it? But smooth jumping from him. But with a lifetime best of 585, you would expect that. He has had a difficult couple years. There's Valentin, but like I said, married at the back end of 2024. Perhaps a new lease of life, and his PB from 2022. So certainly got a few more years in him. And experience being key in pole vault. How complex this event is, as you can see, you need the speed. As Duplantis demonstrated as well this summer, facing off against Warholm in that 100, kind of showed the speed benchmark that is required to really be an international competitor. Nice jump in there from Galindo then, bar at 386. And a little bit lower than what was originally planned, what was discussed. But like I said, athletes will kind of bump heads, and just a good opportunity for them to execute everything they've been doing in training, and probably coming into this very rusty. Many haven't competed for sort of 4 or 5 months, which for most events can be relatively normal, especially when you look at sort of sprinters and athletes like that. But for pole vaulters, they are used to regularly competing. They really are. So, Sawane, up and over, a little bit messy when he was up in that U position, directly above the bar, wasn't he? But again, that will do the job. The 20-year-old, second of those French under-23 championships. So, of course, all the results over at Athlete Live Results. So you can follow along just like I am. It's a first-time clearance for Nadia Galindo of Spain on the women's side, and 2 first-time clearances on the men's as well. So, Chocard then, 386, should be fairly routine for an athlete of this level, and it is. No doubt about it. Crowd enjoyed it as well. I think there's going to be a few claps, because I think a lot of these women are going to go clear at this height. And Lali Chocard. Lifetime best of 410. Judging by the clearance she had there, she may well improve on that. And the very first competition of 2025. Well, here he goes in. Perche Bravo. The Spaniard. Late addition into this meet. Good speed on the runway as well. Good plant. Oh, just a little bit of a knock. He wasn't as tidy getting up over that bar, was he? He just sort of didn't arch himself enough and spring as well in that L position before he hung over. However, the lifetime best of 5:55. I don't think he'll be panicking. None of these athletes really will be panicking. I think that's the beauty of these World Tour events as well. You kind of look up the fixture list and you know you've got 3, 4, 5, possibly more than that, competitions ahead of you. And for many of these, even before their national championships, which we do think will come in that maybe that middle of February weekend with the European Championships. Teams are going to need to be selected in the middle of February, European Championships early March, and then off we go into that World Indoor Championships, which is late March, which with the World Champs outdoors being in September, not too much of a problem. Well, here's Perche in, the Italian. Oh, light work of that, very smooth. 5:63 lifetime best. He's one of the few in the field who was vaulted already this season at 5:46 coming last weekend. Still just 20 years of age, but he is swept that Italian national championships at 18 back in 2023 indoors, and he was champion in 2024 as well. Former junior European champion. Galindo goes again in 4:01, and you can see this women's competition cycling through pretty quickly as many of the athletes chose to pass on that 386. So it's just an additional height added in for them. There's the leaderboard. Can't take too much from it at the moment. Haven't really seen those heavy hitters, and when will Mary Julie Bonner come in? Okay, Song, Asian Games silver medalist. Oh, not showing it. Not showing it on that first attempt. 5:71 lifetime best. Half a meter off where he'd like to be. Perhaps not now, but certainly towards the end of this meeting. So again, he'll make some adjustments and adjust the poles either side of that mat. It looked like he just didn't quite have the depth there, didn't it? So here's Russis as we're rattling through this competition. Clears that one past the 386. 4:01. No problem at all. Yeah, at least Russi. Second and fourth at those World Junior Championships in 2021 and 2022. And in fact, she was fourth in 2022, so almost a lower result in 2021. So, yeah, no time to rest here. Bar comes down with him, just slightly delayed. And he's the national record holder. So the Chinese just struggling at the moment. You can see him there in that upright position before he arches himself over the bar, and that's where he kind of knocked it on the way up. Well, here's Dordan, the Bordeaux athlete who hosts the next Pole Vault World Tour, by the way. And I'm sure she'll be on that lineup and looking ahead to it. What can she do here? The World University silver medalist. Comfortable. As we start to really rock and roll in this competition. 4:46 her lifetime best. 4:01 making light work of that. You can see the clearance, and well, we saw the addition of the or the introduction, I should say, of the track lab and how they were, it was a pole vault competition with a twist. They were measuring the height cleared over the bar and awarding that to the winner. And I wonder if that format will ever take off. So, Soane, 5:21, second attempt. get up and over. Not quite. Almost too much speed. He's a fluid mover on the runway, isn't he? But he just really hammered into that one. Couldn't quite get up in time before he hit that. And again, it's a small change. You expect him to go clear. The power and the speed he had, and even the height. You expect him to go clear on that third attempt. Just frustrating more than anything for him, because he knows he's got it in him. Morte. Honorable athlete, second last year, 24-year-old. Oh, comes down heavy on the bar, doesn't she? Almost popped back at her. She is someone who unfortunately did not really have a campaign in 2024. Injury and illness just hampering her season completely, and the effect that can have. So perhaps a start that she expected so far. Well, Mauricio Bravo gives him a nod. He's ready to go on this runway. Luis Bravo, as I mentioned, he enjoys this meeting. Lifetime best here. The 21-year-old. What can he do? Second of those Spanish champs in 2024. Clears the bar off to the side. And sigh of relief for Bravo. You can just see veering to our left, his right, as he was up and over, but nothing wrong with that clearance. Up over it quick as well, wasn't he? And so welcome if you're joining us. Action getting underway here in Devoluy, up in the French Alps, 1,500 meters above sea level. So athletes may move through that air a little bit faster than what they're used to. Minor details, I'm sure. Chicardin. Nice first time clearance of 386. Off down the runway again, and a first time clearance of 401. Building steadily. French woman. Very smooth, and you can see, oh, in fact, knocked the bar off. Didn't see it come down with her, though. That's my apologies. So we'll see her take that second attempt shortly. There's still quite a few women opting to pass at 4:01. On the men's side then, Huang Song of China. Asian Games indoor silver medalist in 2024. That's much better. Showing us the athlete he really is. 560 to medal at those Asian Indoor Championships. And I mentioned as we were introducing this meeting, those World Indoors in Nanjing, China, these men are going to be looking, can one of them sneak into that Elite 12, which are going to perform there, perform at that home championships, that delayed championships all the way from 2020. You think 5 years on from that horrible COVID, morbid. Good clearance at 4:01. Pretty straightforward for her. And again, PB'd in 2023, looking to get back to those sorts of performances in the 430s. All right, here's Li Yaoji. And as well, that's much, much better from him. Chinese national record holder and 5 times their champion. Did go to Paris, competed amongst the best. Unfortunately, didn't make it out of heats or the qualifying round. Got 6th in his pool. But had a weird season, didn't he, Yao? You know, spent a lot of time, peak of the summer, just struggling to get going. But then it's almost like the pressure of Paris was lifted, and then he went and jumped his 575. Dambri, good vaulting from her. Accomplished vaulting indeed. Very smooth and, well, not too much to take from that one. Oh, a nice clearance and a bit of a flawless technique up through dead center. Perhaps came on that bar a little quick if we're being critical. And spend a little bit more time getting up there. But here we go then, and this is why meets like this are special. Sabane, everyone getting behind him to go clear at 5:21. Is it to be? Yes, it is. I mentioned last time on his second attempt, it was almost a foregone conclusion he was going to go clear on this one. just because the speed and the fluidity, but he is ever so close. You can see how fast he gets up over the bar there. And he's just on it so quickly, isn't he? Just the way he moves down that runway. He's got to be one of the fastest vaulters around. And maybe he'll be next to challenge the great Mondo. Over 100 meters, of course. Perhaps a little bit premature to mention a head-to-head in the pole vault. The 12-time world record holder. Multiple world champion in Mondo de Planes. So, Andrea San Jose. Nice little round of applause for her. Goes clear again. Pretty straightforward though, I must say. So you can see it's an introduction of more women at 401, but some of the heavy hitters to come a little bit later on. And Mary-Julie Bonat, certainly think she's going to be appearing hopefully around about that 441 mark. I wouldn't expect her to see her in too much before there. The women's bar, by the way, will go up to 416 next, and this men's bar will go up to 5 meters in 41. No, apologies, 536. And then it will maybe leap to 551. And those bar increases are discussed by athletes down there, and they can change. But here goes Livellini then. Oh. Solid first attempt, though. They do learn a lot. And in pole vault, it's, especially when you get to some of those higher heights, it's rare people clear on their first attempts. They almost need to just double check and make sure, judge their speed on the runway, but also judge the positioning of the bars and how much depth they need to get on their vault and how close they're coming down on it. So there's a lot of feedback to be documented and absorbed through each jump. Well, Galindo here. Naya Galindo has had a good few opportunities. She's been enjoying this runway, hasn't she? 401, second attempt. Fouls down. Perhaps just a little slow picking herself back up. And you sometimes look at athletes' body language, and is that going to dictate how they're going to perform over the rest of the competition? And perhaps just looking a little bit deflated, perhaps wanting a little bit more out of herself. Is it clicking? The sixth place at the World Under-20 Championships. Jumped 405 on that occasion. Had she have matched her PB of 420, she would have medaled in Lima. So I'm sure she's carrying the weight of that disappointment, or how close she was to the medals. Medals not everything at a junior level. It is about developing. We certainly know that. But yeah, perhaps slightly frustrated with her 24 campaign, and she takes that into 25. It's good fuel for the athletes. Often those at the top, it is trickiest to continue to motivate themselves. They make it look easy. Constantly working. Well, here he is then. It was an impressive clearance of 521, albeit on that third attempt. So Arnett in 536. The speed he has. Oh, comfortable. First time clearance for him. That's more like it. It's starting to click, isn't it? He identified what he was doing wrong in the early stages of this competition. Never goes to a count back. He may struggle to place much higher up the leaderboard, but for now, most important thing is he's gone clear, and that multi-event background probably helping with his speed. A few heptathlons a few years ago, but now seems to be specializing. Here's Peramonte, 401. Oh, well, failed on the first attempt, and again on the second. The first attempt's a lot closer than that one. So she's going to have to reevaluate things. Give it her all on that third attempt. Be ashamed to lose an athlete this early on. Well, here goes Juan Luis. Bravo. 555 lifetime best. He's looked impressive so far throughout the competition. Just assured, confident. Just taking the necessary steps to make sure he is prepared. 536. Oh, and it looked a stretch, but he's done it. First time clearance for Bravo. And there we are. You can see, oh, he was close coming down on it, wasn't he? At the peak of that U position over the bar, he seemed to have a pretty good clearance, just come down a little bit. So maybe some slight adjustments for him to come. Well, check out another one who failed at her first attempt at 401. Oh, she was close there as well. Ever so close, just like that first attempt. So, it's 2 for 2 so far. She's going to have to make some changes, but you can see almost had it, nicked it on the way up, and then it made it difficult to really recover. You would have had to clear it by some margin. Well, this is the introduction of Mathieu Koller. His brother Thibaut. Like I said, we're going to see he jumped 530 at this competition last year. So perhaps the benchmark for him as a kind of minimum. Can he improve on that and show that he's in a better place in the start of 2025 than he was in 2024? Here he goes. Good speed. Oh, it's comfortable and it's near perfection on the technique. How tidy was that? There didn't look to be a body part out of place. The core was engaged, super straight, and you could just see arms up over. And that's kind of this. We've seen some, I guess, some ropey techniques when you compare it to the likes of Koller and his father, Philippe. Just giving him the feedback he requires. And there's Thibaut as well, getting ready to go through the motions and warm himself up. Had to do it all again after what was a fantastic 24 campaign, despite the disappointment in Paris at the Olympic Games. He really is starting to showcase that he's one of the very best in pushing the limits as well. Oh, here's Nadia. Galindo. Well, that's unfortunate. 386 came here, gets her season up and running. That's the most important thing. The 19-year-old. Ever so close on that one. You can see here again, just catches it with her leg on the way up. But you'll learn. And the nice thing about being so early on is you've always got another competition, haven't you? Creep towards that lifetime best. Oh, the Italian, good to see him in action again. Bartelli, Simone, just a year older. And then Galindo, comfortable clearance for him, 536. Fantastic junior. Proving that at the European Under-20 Championships in 2023, taking that title back to Italy. And he'll have that pathway laid out ahead of him. Now he's set to develop. Oh, Peramore in. Third attempt for her at 401. Didn't come close on that second attempt. Has she made the necessary changes? Good speed on the runway. Good plant. She's going to need to be aggressive. She is. Oh! And it's hung up there by the skin of her teeth on a thread. It doesn't matter how, she'll take it. And sometimes that's the break. A little bit of luck athletes need to really kickstart their competition and their campaign. And we cast our attention to the men's side. Shenyang Li. China, 560. Never competed outside of China, this man. So this is the first. Not only that, he's He's high up in the French Alps, competing. Not your traditional track venue, or field venue, shall I say. Lee, oh! Okay, tricky clearance, but looked like he is more than capable of going clear at this height of 536. You can just see, yeah. Good technician, good speed. It was just, needs a little bit more depth on that bar, doesn't he? Give himself a little more chance to get up and over it. He was fourth at those Chinese National Championships in September. Weirdly, post the Olympic Games, many governing bodies and nations will have their national championships to select their Olympic team. In China, that national championship's coming after the Paris Games. Okay, here's Tricard, her last attempt at 4 meters in 1 centimeter. Well below her PB. Can she go clear? Oh, 3 attempts, all very, very similar. Had the height, really, just not quite the finesse when it came to getting up over that bar into that U position. You can just see, oh, just coming down in it just a touch. Lifetime best of 4:10. That would have put her in good stead to attack that lifetime best, but unfortunately, she won't be able to. So, Tristan Desprez, introduction to his competition, 536. Out on the runway now. Oh, up and over. That's comfortable for him. Very, very comfortable, and that's encouraging. He's a 562 vaulter, but how easy he made that look. And I think just starting to, over the last few years, isn't he? Start to show promise. That French under-23 champion, Mediterranean under-23 champion, but still just 21 years of age. Here's Desprez. So the officials working very, very efficiently this evening. They got the work cut out for them with both of these pools operating either side of this compact arena. Crowd right on top of the athletes, and you can see them visualizing, going through the process, warming up. It's fascinating to be a part of. Yao just running through that one. Again, he'll take on some information from that, though. Cleared at 5:21. He's much better than that. The Chinese national record holder. It won't be the first time he's done that. Certainly won't be the last. So, Elise Roussy. PB back in July. 4 meters and 40. French indoor champion last year. She's a physio student. Studying that practice. Pretty good career to have parallel to your vaulting whenever you get injured. Obviously understand your body that little bit more as well. Crucial to your development. And she's just a youngster, but I think she's going to let Menno Bloom jump as he looks set to get his campaign underway and his 2025 season underway as well. The Dutchman, the 30-year-old. He's done a couple 60-meter races already this year, but he hasn't vaulted yet. Here he goes. Menno Bloom, 5:36 first attempt. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. And it's interesting to see him early season tap into that 60, work that speed. Just dipping that 7-second barrier. Wow, he is well clear of that. Thinking he's going to be able to get up near that 570 mark. Potentially 580 would be big for this stage of the year. Well, and here goes Roussy then. 4:16 the bar now at. Oh, it's accomplished, isn't it? It's a competent jump. There's Roussy now. Will take the lead with that mark as well. Looks fairly routine for her. As I mentioned, someone who got second and fourth at those World Under-20 Championships, fourth coming the following year in 2022, but she did jump a higher mark. So although her position was lower, then in 2021, she actually improved on her mark. The competition was just far greater. That's off on the white. Those World Championships in 2021 and altitude as well. They were in Nairobi, Kenya. I remember that. So similar altitude to where we're at here. All right, here we go. Levilini. Valentine. 536. Failed on his first attempt. This one looks much better. Yes, it is. Over he goes. You can often tell, can't you, in the run-up in the plant, how it's going to go. You could just see much tidier. Still drifting to the left a little bit, but giving himself enough room to get up over the bar, just buying himself a little bit of space there. Otherwise, he may have been on it a little bit too quickly. Here we go, the Bordeaux athlete, Dordain. Oh, nice clearance for her. Well, 4:16. And it seems to be sweet 16 for a few of these athletes as they're just flying over it, not having too much problems at all. Oh, I say that little nick on the arm, and that was why she sort of puffed her cheeks when she landed down. But didn't disrupt it enough to be a failure. Oh, Shang Yang leading. I mentioned he's never competed outside of China. This is a whole new experience for him. He's a very, very consistent 550, 560 jumper, this man. So he's got room to go before he starts to get towards his limit of that lifetime best of 560. Can he take off? Oh, that's unfortunate because the height was incredible then. He really did look to clear that with some height. You might be able to see it as he just nicks it with the shins on the way up, is it? Oh, it was his hand. Lazy. Oh, that's so unfortunate. His hand just tucked. He didn't let go of that bar soon enough. But boy, oh boy, did he clear that by some margin. If he can get things together, pull it all together in that third attempt, we're going to see something quite special later on in this competition. Perche then, 4:16. Will she make lighter work of this than she did at 4 meters and 1 centimeter? Oh, okay, no. No. And perhaps a little bit of a mental block for Perche. Did seem to struggle at 4:01, which is fairly unusual for an athlete of this caliber. And you can sometimes just see, can't you? Perhaps need to pull things together a little bit. Ooh. Wow, Yao almost going over that sideways. And again, he's someone who just, the Chinese national record holder, he hasn't looked like himself today. I mentioned the whole of this Chinese team over. We'll be doing a European tour, getting a few competitions under their belt before heading home, probably mid to the back end of February. We'll see. More breathing. Somehow stayed up. She's confused. Me and you are at home with that one, but it stayed on, and she will progress. As you can see, gets quite a nick on the way down. 4:16 clearance for Mowbray as well. Waited to see the other Spaniard, just the other international athlete in this field. Andrea San Jose. So here he goes in Shenyang Li. This is going to be his third attempt. Thibaut Koller is on the runway warming up. So is he due to jump as this bar will progress? A few of these athletes have one final attempt at 5:36, proving trickier than we would imagine. But it is that point in the season. You've got to be patient, often with the body, with the mind as well. Just be at different places, and athletes sometimes may have had a completely uninterrupted winter campaign or interrupted winter campaign, so just taking a little longer for them to find their form. Oh, that's better. Well, I mentioned on that second attempt, if he gets things together, I mean, the clearance he had on that second attempt was his arm, which caught it late, wasn't it? You would expect him to go well clear, and I'm glad he has, because he is looking very, very good. Could see something special from that man laid on. That looked well into the 550s on the clearance alone. And you're thinking, is he going to get near that 560 PB? Well, Jiao struggled for form, the 34-year-old in 2024. He is the Chinese national record holder, though, 536. Just hasn't got it. Hasn't got it today, has he? And that is a shame to see. Such a big name. And he traveled far to come here as well. Bow out this early on in the competition. I hope he can grow throughout his European indoor campaign. And I hope we can see him out of home championships in 2025 in Nanjing. But like I said, a lot of competitions, he did struggle to get to that 550, 560 mark throughout 2024. His best performance came at the end of the year at 575. So he carried that into the winter. Oh, Diana! Great vault from her, 416, and enters the competition with a first-time clearance. That's your dream start. It really is. And look at that, veering left as well, so some adjustments and improvements to be made. But Haney will be very, very pleased with that. Berenice Petit next to go at 416. And as we turn our attention back to La Villenie, fantastic arena here. It is packed, this crowd. Some of them standing at the back on their feet. People just wanting to get a seat, get in here. See some of the best vault. I believe it was just a very, very affordable €6 to watch as well. And this is how our sport should be broadcasted. It's how our sport should be showcased. And like I said, there's no community like the pole vault community. The way they look out for each other and want to drive their discipline forward. You see meets like this, exclusive pole vault meets all the time around the world, and they're only getting bigger. Here goes La Villenie in 551. Oh, well, not too dissimilar to that first attempt at 536. He's experienced enough to make the changes he needs and know what he needs as well. And certainly a part of a family who is responsible for inspiring so many to get into pole vault. You think about the amount of athletes who have come through this arena. 150 have competed through this arena over the last couple days. Berenice Petit then, easy. 416, a job done. Bar set to climb by some margin up to 431 next. Don't quote me on that. That was the information I had pre the competition, but it could potentially go up just 10 centimeters to 426, whether it goes the full 15 to 31. And that may start to prove tricky for a few of these women. We know there's quite a lot of lifetime bests. Just 5 lifetime bests above that mark out of a field of 12. So Arne then. Phenomenal speed, a rangy athlete. And Dig, talking to that speed, looked to just kind of put on the brakes a little bit as he came down the runway then. Just looked a little choppier than we have seen him on those previous attempts. I mean, it's 536. Boy, did he get over that by some way. So Danbury. Naomi Danbury in Montreal. Season's best last week, a 401. See, she's already equaled that once again. Can she go higher? Yes, she can. 416. Beautiful jumping. 25-year-old, that lifetime best of 423 from 2022. She's now going to get another chance to attack it, to try and beat that mark. I'm certain that bar will be above 423 the next time around. Great vaulting for Danbury. To attack a PB this early on in 2025, should be rather pleased. Breaking into the top 12 at those French champs in 2024. Well, one of the few internationals, Johan Luis Bravo. .551. First attempt. It's good on the runway. Gets up to a good speed. Plants well. What can he do? Coming down on it, but and again, 5:51. Maybe a challenging, you know, a man whose lifetime best is 5:55. It is starting to squeeze out the upper limits of what he can currently do. His potential, I know many think, is a lot higher. He has a high ceiling in this sport, but just needs to start to execute and put it together. The 21-year-old. Oh, and this is exciting. This is what we came to see. It's what many in the arena will have come to see. Marie-Jolie Bonat, 4 meters and 70, her lifetime best, the under-23 European champion, French champion in 2024, breaking into that top 12 at the Olympic Games in Paris as well. Here she goes to open her 2025 campaign. Easy clearance at 4:16. Looks like she breathes a little bit of a sigh of relief, and well, there's probably no feeling like your season opener, like your first vault of the year. And now the kind of stress of that will dissipate as she kind of eases into this competition. Didn't vault amazingly last year, so we're going through the record books, and that bronze, or third place, shall I say, she got last year in 4:40 is quite a bit shy of what she is capable of, what she improved on throughout the year. That PB coming from Sotteville. Certainly be looking at that road to Nanjing. Well, here goes Koller. Mathieu Koller, first time clearance at 5:36 was very impressive as the atmosphere ramps up for this man. Oh, and it's super tidy again. I just got to admit, the way he can arch his body. There's not a body part out of place, is it? He's not scrappy. His hands are tidy as well. His feet are so close together as he squeezes out every single bit of efficiency to get up over that bar. So 5:51, storms clear in that men's competition. His brother will have something to say about that, Thibaut. But he'll be entering potentially at this very height. I haven't got wind of when we will see him. Here we go, and Andrea San Jose. Nice clearance from her, and she's enjoying herself. Well, just going about her business pretty quietly. A couple first-time clearances mean we haven't seen too much of her. But what we have seen of her is awfully consistent, relaxed, and just doing the basics. Here we go, and in Bertelli. Bertelli, Simone. Perfect scorecard so far. He's going to vault to beat the crowd. Ooh, commentator's curse. Nowhere near on that one. And it's funny, isn't it? I think a lot of vaulters will have, some will enjoy vaulting to music and energy and atmosphere. Some will rather prefer just being in their own thoughts, their own head, and just getting down that runway at their own speed. It is amazing. So much going on around them, the concentration needed to really execute this awfully complex sport. They make it look easy, believe me. Oh, Peramore. Just, I mentioned earlier, you just worry about where the athlete's sort of mental state is at the moment, because she doesn't look like someone who's got heaps amount of belief at the moment of what she can do. You talk about just getting a little bit out of sorts when you're in the air as well, and those phases you've got to go through. And that C phase where you're curling yourself up, ready to spring yourself and make yourself tall to get up over that bar. Perhaps one of the most fearful phases in any sport, in track and field, any discipline. Oh, time for Chenyang Li of China. Oh, he continues to impress, and he's coming to this as the underdog out of the Chinese men, the three of them who have come here to Devoluy to compete. And for a man who's never competed outside of China, he's putting on a show. He had a slow start, but that 5:51 is huge. And more importantly, you look at his lifetime best of 5:60, and you just think he's going to get very, very close to it, because he was well clear at 5:51. He really was. The Chinese underdog starting to announce himself. And this is what this time of the Olympic cycle is all about. I always say, you know, sometimes the best time to have a breakthrough is post that Olympic Games. It's a new cycle. You can generate new excitement about yourself. You're on a slightly different trajectory, a pathway. You're not rushing, you're taking your time. And also, of course, some of the very best athletes are a little hungover from that previous year, that Olympic Games, and maybe they're just trying to find their rhythm and get back into the routine and find their motivation again. Hu Yang Song then. Well, can't match his teammate on his first attempt at 5:51. So he'll wait for his second. Chose to pass at 5:36, as you can see. That 5:21 can be a bit misleading. You sometimes wonder, oh, how is it he's still in the competition? But yeah, passed at that 5:36 height. Okay, the crowd know Elodie Perche on her final attempt, 4:20 lifetime best. Crowd knows she needs this one. She's gonna need every bit of their support. Good speed on the runway. This is where she struggled. Ooh, well, she's going to be able to hurry herself back down the runway and attempt it again. But you can just see, just struggling a little bit. And this looks like more of a psychological issue than it does a physical issue at this stage. And I think as a coach, this is a very, very difficult place to be, because there are few words you can say to your athlete in this moment. And especially it's picking the right words, isn't it, that will really go on to make that difference. All right, Desprez. Just bowing out on that one, Tristan Desprez. Again, he's another athlete we haven't seen too much of with that 5:62 lifetime best. Just clipping it. Well, you start to wonder when we're going to see Thibaut Koller. When's he going to enter this competition? We will focus on Perche for now. 4:16. What can she do? Attempt to vault. Not going to happen. And that's unfortunate. Like I said, I think one can only presume it's a psychological battle out there. She'll be upset, but coach will confide in her. Disappointment early on for Perche then in 2025, but I'm sure she'll build off of this. Lots of lessons learned. Thierry Baptiste. Heavy hitter. You look at him, Vloon and Koller to really perform and drive this competition up towards the end. He's joint meet record holder, comfortable, 5:51. Too easy for him. Like I said, this is a man who phenomenal youth career. Youth Olympic Games gold medalist a few years ago. He's 23 years of age now, and he's really starting to show what he can do. He was the French national champion as well. And last year's competition was fascinating in the fact that a man like Thierry Baptiste, 5:75 jumped but came fourth, and the meet record at this is 5:75 as well as Pedro Barrio. of Portugal was due to compete here, but scratched late. And it was awfully close competition last year. A lot of men getting stuck beyond that 575 mark. Of course, it goes to count back. So Men of Loon look good at 536, entering a little bit earlier than perhaps we did. But now what can this man do? Can he go clear at 51 as well? It's a height he's gone clear many, many times before. Add this one to the list. Dutchman soars clear. And he has, by a centimetre, got the best lifetime best in the field of 5 metres in 96 centimetres back in 2021. 592 last year in 2024, though. And he's a consistent, I guess, championship performer. I think that's something Vloon does very well. Always there or thereabouts come to championship. 8th at the Europeans last year, 11th at the Olympic Games, saving his best for that occasion. Here's the man they've come to see then. Thibaut Koller, slowly becoming the next French superstar. Massive 595 last year. Was a big, big step up. Jumped 592 in his indoor campaign in 2024. We expect nothing but a clearance here. Routine for Thibaut Koller. His father, Philippe, will be not relieved, but I guess we'll now start to focus on where they go from here. And I think that will be the exciting thing of how this meet will play out over the next sort of 30 to 60 minutes, because that bar will creep up and it depends who goes clear. And these men will potentially look to attack or get a few more volts in before they look to attack their lifetime best. Here we go, Rashidin. Ooh, 431, proving a little bit of a stretch at this stage for the youngster. Again, this is she needs to clear this in order to have an attack at that lifetime best. So the bar has jumped up that 15 centimeters as promised, from 416 to 431 in this women's competition. Lavellini. Second attempt at 551. Will find his rhythm in his head before he looks to find it in his body and get up over this bar. Few in this field have the experience of this man. Oh, just didn't look smooth on the runway, did he? Didn't look to have that fluidity. Just perhaps forcing the speed a little bit to give him the best chance of getting up over that bar. It's only me, of course, no expert. But you can kind of see the way he was operating on that runway. Didn't look to be enjoying that approach so much. Well, Dordain through the same ranks as Mary-Julie Bonnet. Oh, just coming down on that, but she's got 431 in her. I've actually got no doubt about that. World University silver medalist, got her lifetime best previous year, 446. But you can see she's cleared that comfortably. I expect her to go clear on the on that second attempt. And in this women's field, no one clear at 431 yet. So Anne, a 20-year-old, full of speed, full of talent. Sometimes it's just being able to harness that, bring it all together. He's going to have one more attempt at 551. Mind you, it took him 3 to go clear at 521. You just look at that and you think, just needs to bide his time a little bit more. Try and slow down that vault, just a touch. And I think he goes clear. The power and speed he gets. Mowbray. Oh, okay. First time clearance at 31. So 431 proving difficult for these women. At this stage. So we've had just over an hour of competition, and we're starting to see the field potentially separate and whittle itself down. A few more failures cropping in. And in the next 20 minutes or half an hour, I think we might see the contest come to its climax with some of the big hitters go for the top spots and really push the limits. Juan Luis Bravo is someone who would want to be in that position. It takes competition to bring the best out of you. That's why these athletes are here. That's why they've reached this level in the sport. Luis Bravo loves this meeting. Back after last year coming here and achieving a 5:55 PB. For a chance to attempt that, he needs to go clear. He's not going to do so just yet. And a difficulty a lot of these vaulters have as well, if you can see, because the bar goes up in quite large increments. It's difficult to really build on those ranking points, because if you don't go clear at 5:51, you've then got a 5:36 next to your name when it comes to the rankings and the points that you get for achieving your result. And that's not going to get any of these athletes where they want to be. But you've only got so many jumps in you in a competition. It makes sense the bar steadily creeps up like that. Dehaney. Well, smiling at her second attempt. And that's often a confidence thing. She'll know what she'll have to do in order to adjust things and potentially go clear at this height. That's why we see a wry smile. Either that or simply just admitting she's having a lot of fun out there. Well, Simone Bartelli. I'm looking forward to seeing this man progress over the next few years. Oh. Well, it's daunting, and I think one thing which may be slightly distracting is maybe me reading into it a little bit too much, but jumping in this indoor environment and having a wall directly kind of behind where you're vaulting, perhaps a little bit scary, a little bit harder to kind of visually sight that bar than when it's out in the open. You've got lots of space around you, like on those outdoor tracks. But, you know, these pole vaulters do often jump their best. A lot of these lifetime bests set indoors due to just the conditions being so controlled. And oh, that was almost the oh yeah, pop of the cheeks. That was close for Petit. Oh, just caught it with her feet, didn't she? And well, managed to hang on to the bar to stop herself from dropping head first. And that's where, you know, this, I guess it showcases quite how dangerous this sport is and how complex it is. You really do have to think on your feet and move your body in ways that is unnatural, but often the best thing to do. Highly skilled athletes are capable of doing it, and just like we are seeing. So, Huiyang Song of China. 5:51. Normally a very, very consistent mark for him. That was much closer than his first attempt, though. Looking a little bit frustrated. I think almost knows what he's got to do to go clear. You can see. Yeah, he'll adjust those bars and he'll go clear on that third attempt. One can only expect. Otherwise, he'll walk away knowing he could have done more. I certainly think so. Naomi Danbury. First attempt, 4:31. What could she do? She would be one of the few to go clear. Oh, it was close. Again, perhaps now athletes just starting to show a little bit of fatigue. In the sense that they're going to really need to harness the speed and energy required to go into the plant there. Oh, just enter pray. Mediterranean under-23 champion, proving why. Proving why. That was very, very good. That was one of the best clearances we've seen at 5:51, I must say. And now he is going to have, providing the bar goes up to 566, that's going to be a PB attempt for that young man. Still just 21 years of age. To get a PB this early on in 2025 would bode well. Would give an indication of what this year has in store for him. And French vaulting continues to be one of the most competitive vaulting nations in the world. Marie-Julie Bonardin. There she goes, showing her class again. Oh, okay, smiles. She knows she can do better. I said, look, relieved when she cleared 416. I was surprised to see her so early on in this competition, vaulting at 416, when she is much capable. And that may indicate, you know, it's a winter campaign that hasn't quite been as successful or as consistent as she would have liked. So just kind of seeing where she's at and easing into this competition. I'm sure we will see her get it together towards the latter stages. All right, then. Well, these men now stepping into their third and final attempt at 5:51. We're going to see this play out. How many men are we going to have go into the latter stages of this pole vault competition? The Villainy. Valentin. Can he go clear at 5:51? Can he stick around? No, he can't. So he bows out. Acknowledges a crowd who's been fantastic throughout the evening here. And he'll have to watch the rest of this competition unfold. And you can see we've got Soane, Luis Bravo, and Simon Bertelli also to attack this 5:51 mark. And then we will be down to just 4 on that men's side of the competition. 4:31, proving difficult as well for a lot of these women. Measured almost a 50-50 split with how many women have cleared 4:30 versus how many women have gone clear. For 6 of them, be a lifetime best if they go clear 4:31. It's almost there from Andrea San Jose. And she's someone who has gone over this 4:30 mark before in her life, 4:42. So, Soane, I've been very impressed. I've enjoyed what I've seen from this young man. I'm sure a lot of you can see how talented he is, how much of a raw athlete he is. Oh! He's just so fast and so powerful, perhaps to his detriment at times. He smiles, though, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this man. I really do. Multi-event background as a youngster. And now starting to really specialize in the pole vault. He's fearless as well. And it's that mentality you need for such a brutal event. Oh, it's a fantastic clearance from Russi. Oh, it really is. And she's going to be now able to attack a lifetime best in that next round. Silver medalist at the World Under-20 Championships a few years ago. Now developing into a fine senior athlete. And she will put the pressure on the rest of them to go clear at 4:31 because there are a few women, as I mentioned before, who are struggling. And one man who will be feeling that heat and feeling that pressure. Juan Luis Bravo now. Will he be able to match what he did here in 2024? 5:51. Opening competition of his 2025 campaign. The Spaniard, a regular top 3 finisher at their national championships. Here he goes. Oh! I was hoping it'd be right on cue. Veer to the left again, as he has been, or his right arm left, as he has been all evening, actually. As you can just see here, giving himself a little more room, but perhaps just not being able to harness that spring. Just came down on it. So he unfortunately bows out. Here goes Albani Dordain. Second attempt for the athlete from Bordeaux. Oh! Almost a comfortable clearance. I was queuing it up. I think we're going to see her go clear on her third and final attempt, despite any sort of fatigue or any surprises. I think it's going to be a routine clearance for her on that third attempt. Simone Bertelli. The Italian hoping for more. Knows what he's got to do. Already a season best of 5:46. He's one of the few men in this competition to have already got a mark under his belt in 2025. Here goes Bertelli for a clearance of 5:51. Yes, he does it! And he's going to battle for a podium finish in this competition, one would only presume. If he's able to go clear at 5:66, that really will put himself in the driving seat. Developing so well, this 20-year-old. And every setback he's had, no height in his national champs last year, he's bounced back. Here goes Marbury. Oh, and not to happen. Nowhere near. Frustration. And now it'll be all on her to go clear. The athlete from Grenoble. In her third and final attempt. But I mentioned about Bertelli and how he did no height at that national championships, and it's almost, you know, every pole vaulter has it. You know, that one competition where you know height and it sticks with you. And it's disappointing, but it's how you bounce back from that. And he is continuing to grow, Bertelli. Well, here goes Song. Stay in the competition then. Put the pressure on. Can we have another man contesting? Attacking that 560 mark. Driving it forward. Oh. Well, that's a big, big shame from him. Third at those Chinese national championships last year. 571. The man who beat him at that competition also out. So those two. Unfortunate, but that wasn't a failure because he couldn't do it. It's just a failure down to the execution. It's about being able to vault to your best ability when it matters as well. So here's Dehaney. Ready to attack 431. A mark she's capable of. Oh, well, surprising. Surprising for her, Alex Dehaney. Ninth at those European Championships in Rome, and that really was a performance she would have looked at and looked to build off, and it's almost like a performance to say, hey, I'm here and I'm the next athlete who's going to really drive vaulting forward in France, but didn't manage to go on to qualify for Paris, and third at those French Championships with 4 meters and 30. Second here last year with 450, so that counts for something. It didn't come easy to her on that occasion either. So there's Mathieu Koller down there on the runway. Thibaut is still warming up. And I tell you what, I've really, really liked what I've seen from him today, Mathieu Koller. He's been near perfect. But one of the tidiest techniques you'll see. Goes up like a pencil, arches in a perfect U up at the top. Flexibility is through the roof. Very, very accomplished, but 7th last year, those French champs. Can he build on that? The way he started this season. What can he do here? Oh. Well, as I mentioned, he's been near perfect, but questions are going to be now asked of him. How he can tweak things and adjust and attack that 561. Oh, Berenice Petit, 431 for her. Oh, is she clear? No. There's the answer to that one. And that is frustrating because you'll look at that leaderboard and she'll go, look, there's one clear in Russie. If I can just edge clear, I'm going to be into, one would predict that final 3.
Repose sur des paquets très courts et ça ne tolère pas ce genre de touchette. Il a bien rattrapé le coup au 3e essai à 5,51.
So then here goes Simone Bertelli.
Simone Bertelli.
Interesting stat about him and Desprez is they're both at the same long jump lifetime best of 671. Both pretty close with their pole vault lifetime best as well. 1 centimeter between them. Desprez's 562 to Bertelli's 563. Here we go then. Can he put the pressure on? Can he go clear at 561? He's nicked it on the way down. That's unfortunate. But that's close. He's going to take some confidence from that. He's going to know if I just get a little bit more vertical there, I'm going to go clear and I'm going to be in PB territory or bolder performance, which would be worth the lifetime best. It's often luck at the scorecard. Oh, here's Danbury then. Second attempt, 431. Naomi Danbury. Perfect scorecard until now. And again, here's the season's best. You're going to see a lot of those, though. A lot of athletes haven't opened their 2025 campaign yet. Doesn't look to be too close, does she? Well, a long introduction to this man. And he is looking like he can go on and win this competition. I mean, he's going to be going toe-to-toe with one of the best in Thierry Baptiste and Thibaut Koller. But the height he got at 51 indicates something special. You're kind of rooting from him all the way over from China to at least walk away with a lifetime best. 560 is that, so this would be it. Lifetime best for Lee. Is it going to happen? Oh! Again, let's see where he hit that. Was it with his hand on the way up? Shin? Take a closer look. Super speed, and he gets up quick, doesn't he? He's not slow in the air. I think he's hit that with it. Oh, yeah, with his shins just on the way up, actually. But looks to go much, much higher than what the bar was at. Okay, Marie Gelou. Bonnie. Routine. Much better. Much, much better from Marie Julie.
demandez à Tristan de passer. Voilà, pareil, on fait un 2. Et puis Tristan va exaucer.
Bonner showing what she can do, going from strength to strength over the last 12 months. Comes into this completely different athlete. Here goes Tristan Dupree. Ooh, okay, not going to happen at 561. And a little bit like 431 is proving difficult for these women. I think 561 is going to be that benchmark in this men's field as well. You can see no one clear at this height yet. Koller and Thierry yet to attempt it. They may even skip it altogether. Thibaut Koller seems to be just to the right of picture there. You can see just prepping himself, getting ready. Andrea San Jose. To quote the song, not this time for her. So still, only 2 clear, and perhaps the 2 you would expect. I'm looking at Dehaney from the Lille Athletics Club to go clear as well at 4:53. The pressure is on her to go clear. Thierry Baptiste on the runway, 5:61. Perfect scorecard. When he gets it together, he can soar over the bar, and he's done just that. Too easy for him, and now he'll be looking ahead to the business end of this competition. It's a world lead. We won't get too excited. We may well see another couple world leads throughout this competition, but we are early in 2025, aren't we? But that bodes well. Look at that, fans his arms out on the way down, almost celebrating as he lands on the mat. Well, Dehaney, Alex Dehaney then. This is crucial. Second here last year. Can she get off the ground running? She'll expect so much of her. With her second attempt, one would predict she's going to go clear. Oh, so close. She'll be disappointed. She'll be disappointed with that. Yeah, still Dane just bowing out of this competition, and now she'll watch her teammate Mary Bonner. Menno Vloon and Thibaut Koller, 2 men who have been on the same runways around the world on many occasions. Vloon's look good. I wonder if he can answer to Thierry's fantastic revolt just previously in this men's field. Oh, he does just that. Wow. Wow, indeed. Another world lead, albeit equal. So here we go then. Vloon, Baptiste Thierry, and I have a feeling Mathieu Koller is going to join him, and potentially, well, I won't say potentially, and almost certainly Thibaut Koller. So these athletes jump late into the evening here, high up in the French Alps. It's stop number 1 on the Pole Vault World Tour. 6 meetings ahead of them. Bordeaux is the host next. And we finish up in Clermont on the 28th of February on this tour. And this man you're going to see on several occasions throughout this indoor campaign. And hopefully we will see him in Apeldoorn at those European Championships and the World Championships in Nanjing, China. 5:61, a routine jump for him, showing us just that. So him and Vloon and Baptiste are looking very, very good. And we have just witnessed, I think, the 3 contenders for the top prize. Look at that clearance. Quick to release that hand, though. Almost caught it. The three men battling out to be the best in the world early on in 2025. Look how unique this competition is. The way the crowd are on top of it. It's almost like a basketball game, isn't it? On top of these athletes. They're going to hear conversations between their coaches. Marbury, is going to have an interesting conversation with her coach after bowing out at 4:31. Still, strong showing from her. Little bit of frustration, but it would have been a lifetime best had she gone clear. And so she will not be too harsh on herself. Did equal her lifetime best this time last year. Wound up 6th. Mediterranean under-23 champion. And 6th of those Euro under-23s, just waiting for a bit of a breakthrough. Pole vault is one of those events. You can be awfully consistent at a regular height and out of nowhere put 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters on your personal best. Well, Mathieu Koller. Second attempt. Pole vaulters, I think, requesting these songs with a good beat to them to really propel themselves, carry themselves down that runway and up over this bar. Koller to match his brother, to fight him off in the next round. It's not going to happen just yet. He will have to wait. So that rivalry continues between two brothers, also driving each other on. Fantastic dynamic to have two siblings go so far in this sport. And you could see why, can't you? It's a family affair with their dad, Philippe, who coaches them. But to have someone so close to home who understands what you are trying to achieve and what you've got to go through to be the very best in the world certainly helps when the times get tough. So this women's Dehaney looking to go clear at 4:31. We're going to pan over to Simone Bertelli of Italy on that men's runway. For his second attempt at 5:61. This is a chance for him to get a little one-up on Mathieu Koller and put a pressure on Lee as well. And sneak into that next round. What can he do? Can we see a better attempt in that first one? Oh, yeah, you could tell. Can you? Midway down that runway, you're thinking, has he quite got that bar at the right angle in order to plant it properly? And that's why he has just let go of it and run over the mat. He's having a good chat with and this is what this sport's about as well. You can see Luis Bravo offering a little bit of advice to two internationals outside of their home country coming across to France to compete. Dehaney very much at home, and she certainly will be if she goes clear at 4:31. She's capable of much, much more. 4:53 lifetime best. This is much better on the runway. Oh! And it was just untidy when she was up in the air. You're fighting gravity at that point to keep everything in line together. That's where the gymnastic element comes. Your ability to keep your body tight, keep it packed in, keep it straight. To get up over that bar and the, like I said, her legs falling apart. 4.5 meters in the air. Meant she just nicked that bar. Okay, over on the men's side, Shenyang Lee continues to impress. This is for a lifetime best for him. He is someone who's looked very smooth today. He hasn't got a perfect scorecard. 5:36 made hard work of it, but you could see he was capable of so much more. The height and the clearance he was getting, the speed he was getting on the runway. He's a fluid mover. Look at him go. Up over. Oh, close again. He knows it's in there. He is, by the way, awfully consistent, is Lee. Last year, 8 jumps alone in that 550, 560 realm, and I talk about searching for that breakthrough, searching for that one jump that's just going to take you to that next level. And he's very much on the cusp of it. You think in male vaulting, once you tap into that 575 plus range, you really are starting to get close to world class. I mean, Mondo continues to just drive this event forward at a crazy level. At a frightening pace as well. However, those around him, that 6 meter mark is always a massive barrier. There's an elite few who have gone above and touched that height. And often if you were to make that 575, that 580 consistent, you would go very, very far and perform very, very well at a lot of major championships too. Tristan Dupre. Mediterranean champion, still one of the youngest in the field now. Bertelli has bowed out. Ooh. Very, 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 very close for him, and he is a centimetre shy of his lifetime best if he does clear this. There he is, Dupree. 551, you can see it's just those, a Frenchman, a Dutchman, and a Frenchman who have gone clear at 61 so far. But that is looking like it's within Dupree's grasp. Bernice Petit bows out. And unfortunately so, her second attempt was by far and away her closest to bar. Almost staying up on that occasion, but it did come down. And she's gone into that third attempt perhaps a little bit frustrated and deflated. And it showed in her performance there. But a strong showing. Look at that equal third. All these women equal across the board at 4:16. And that field shrinking down by some margin as we step into that next height, which is set to be for the women's 441 and going up in 10 centimetre increments, just like these men now. Now they have reached that 561 mark. Here we go, Mathieu Koller. I heard a member of the crowd shout him out, get behind him, show their love for this man. Oh, almost carries the bar down with him. He's frustrated, isn't he? But a solid attempt for him and a solid season opener. And what's exciting, I think, when you look at how his season could develop, can he get near that 574? And he was 530 at this meet last year, so a good improvement on that. But that lifetime best still from 2020, 5 years ago now. He was 24 then, just 29 years of age still, so he's still got a lot of vaulting ahead of him. Mathieu Koller, but perhaps just waiting for things to click as they'll look over to his, look behind him and see Thibaut Koller accelerating at some speed in this discipline. And that next 4-year cycle for someone like Thibaut, he'll be looking to really feature in LA. Well, Naomi Danbury, 431, has been proving very, very difficult for a lot of these women in this field today. Can she be one of 3 to go clear? She'll be patient. She'll be inspired by this man if he can clear this awkward height of 561. To get very close to his lifetime best within a couple centimeters. Here's Bertelli. Oh! Oh, and you feel for them when it's so close, don't you? It's a game of fine margins. A sport of fine margins, and I think he can walk out with his head held high. He knows how close he is. He knows he's got a lifetime best within him. This early on in the season. Look at that. Skims it. He'll go away. He'll analyze the footage. He'll get a bit more training in. I think he's going to build throughout this indoor campaign. And now Naomi Danbury will look to go one better than that. She's got to attack it. She's focused. She's locked in. Plants well. Oh, just a little bit slow on the way up. Just affects your momentum. Just hanging in that C stage a little too long before springing out of it. And to be honest, that does come from the speed on the runway. Speed on the runway obviously comes from that sprint background, that athleticism needed. So many aspects of the pole vault required to really succeed. And which one, you know, which area are you prioritizing the most? Are you prioritizing that technical aspect, physical aspect with the speed and the power? You want to see some creative gym routines. Watch these guys train. It's absolutely fascinating what they do in the gym just to cover all bases. Here he goes in, Shenyang Li. Final attempt at 561. Well, 3 very, very close attempts for him, and he bows out. And he acknowledges that there was more in the tank today. Another, you know, pretty sound technical vault. Height is there as well. Just gets that distance from the bar all wrong, doesn't he? He's nicked it twice on the way up, and then on that occasion, it looked like he was just stretching too far. So not able to make those right adjustments to succeed and get into the 570s and set a lifetime best. Andrea San Jose, 431, comes down on it. We've seen a lot of women do that over the last few attempts. For the season best, and there you go. It's Russi and Bonnard who will go toe for toe in this women's competition. And Russi's a little bit of a surprise. She's perhaps not joined by others. Tristan Desprez, 561, final attempt. Well, safely manages to come down in the end, tosses the bar aside, doesn't he? Powers down that runway and just veers off to our left. Quite dangerous when you think about staying in the frame there. It's a good 4 meters wide, that bar. Tristan Desprez, unfortunately, bowing out. So we're going to have Thierry Baptiste to go next. I think these men are going to discuss what height they are going to move to. And just look at what's going on here in the women's competition with Andrea San Jose still on the mat there. I wonder if he is complaining in any manner or wanting to have a re-jump. So we're going to get this bar to step up again. Well, here she is chatting to the officials, so we'll try and find out what clearly failed 3 times at 4 meters and 31 centimeters, but acknowledging something. And was the bar, was it set up how she required or how she asked? A little bit confused, but that women's competition will move on. Meanwhile, on the men's side, that certainly sounds like Baptiste Thierry is ready to rock and roll. 570, so not choosing to go 571. 570 will do the trick, near enough the same margin. Oh, well, Thierry Baptiste. I'm looking at him and thinking he is going to clear this no problem because he made the height look easy there. Minor tweaks. And 570 is his. But for now, he's going to have to watch Vloon and Koller attack this mark and potentially go clear and just put the pressure on him a little bit.
Et donc on veut aller jusqu'à 80. Il y avait une
He's close, isn't he? He looked very, very close.
Correctement reposée. Donc elle va ressauter Andrea. Troisième tentative à 4m31.
Here's another athlete who secured that top 10 finish in Rome. Okay, so this is, I wish I had more information on this for you at home, but Andrea San Jose is going to vault again. Something wasn't quite right. This is a revolt, so technically her 4th attempt, but 3rd officially. Plants well. Same result. Ooh, wow. Safely off the mat there. I think more worried about the official that she may have landed on almost. But yeah, so gets an extra jump there. You can see just veering over to left-hand side. Good on the height. Had she been technically sound, she may have gone clear. And I think these field events awfully impressive how these vaulters do stick around. They do get behind each other. They know the strength of their event depends on the camaraderie and the community that they have developed. As Menno starts to sight that bar, and you look at the crowd who can really see this, and you get a real eye-opening context to how high just 5 meters 70 is when you're in an arena like this. In a stadium, yes, it looks high, but you're not right on top of it. You can't directly look up to that bar, and that is what's always impressive about these indoor competitions and the way they can pop these meets up literally anywhere. We are in a climbing facility, a bouldering facility, 1,500 meters up in the French Alps, and we have got a pole vault competition. Name me an event where you could do that in track and field. There is very, very few, and they just make it work. And that's what's impressive about this world tour that they have developed and harnessed, and it's a bunch of passionate organizers who have got involved and bumped their heads together and developed these meetings. And outside of the Diamond League, this is very much it for a lot of European-based athletes. This is an extremely high level for them. So, Menno. Can he go clear? Put the pressure on the rest of the men in this field. Yes, he can. And that is a perfect scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. Menno continues to impress. The world lead mark creeps up, and he puts the pressure on Thibaut Koller and Thierry Baptiste, the two Frenchmen. Can this Dutchman spoil the party up in the snowy Alps? So Thibaut Koller will go next on the women's side. We're going to see Dehaney. She's psyching herself up. You can see her bottom left of picture. The pole. That gives a bit of context of the runway. Thibaut Koller to go next, actually. 570. Can he answer Bloom? It's the best France have to offer at the moment. Next the bar on the way down. You look at that, though. It's a comfortable clearance, I think. But psychologically, there's a bit of mind games now, which will plan out over the next couple vaults, you know for sure. Bloom will sit there, not smug, but confident that he's got more in the tank and he's going to be able to answer, as Koller just having a slight hiccup at 570. And now when you look at potentially going to 580, if neither of them clear, the competition's in Bloom's hands. So count back. Super, super important when it comes to winning these competitions. Right, here goes Rossi. Oh, running through on that one. Running through on that one. So this is for a lifetime best, though. Oh, Rossi, the French indoor champion last year. Sort of punching above her weight there. Announcing herself as a senior athlete to be reckoned with. And now we're going to get the opportunity to hopefully see Marie-Julie Bonat. Before that, though, the rock star, Baptiste Thierry. Thierry Baptiste looking to go clear at 570. A second attempt, and you think that first attempt was better. It really was, wasn't it? Oh, mixed out with the sole of his shoes. Here she goes. Bonat. Big performance at those Olympic Games. That will stay with her for life. At the home games, breaking into the top 12, competing in front of a home crowd, which was a stellar crowd. Sold out every single session. It was unbelievable to witness. Yes, she goes clear. 441 for Bonat. And that will be a season's best. And that will be an improvement on last year. 440 last year to claim third. And so she goes 1 centimeter further than that, and it's going to be exciting now. Perhaps the pressure will be off her to really push the bar and push the boundaries to see what she can do in the latter stages of this competition. She'll know Russie will have to vault a PB to compete with her at potentially 451, which is still a relatively modest height for her, perhaps not at this stage in the season. She is an athlete who does build through the season. Some could come out, like Baptiste Thierry, and achieve a personal best in the first competition of the year and hover around that mark for the remaining 8 months. Here he goes in, Thibaut Koller. 590 plus vault up. A stellar 2024 campaign. Time to back it up. Oh, similar to Baptiste Thierry in the way that the sole of his shoes seemed to clip that on the way up. Both of them just needing a little more depth to that bar. Speed was good. Height looked mega. Just have to look. Oh, it was his shin actually, wasn't it? His shin goes flying off. It was an aggressive vault, you could see. They're fired up, they're amped up to really tackle it and get over it. Full of energy at this stage of the season. That's what you'd like to see. So what can Russie do? Because I'm intrigued to see where this bar goes. If she does bow out of this competition, where will Bonat take that bar? Here goes Russie for a lifetime best, 441. Phenomenal junior. Now starting that transition into the senior ranks. Learning the ropes, has gone from one of the best in the world in her age category. Now, a small fish in a rather large pond. And it's about how you survive out there. Oh. Okay. Looking around, perhaps not as confused as she seems at the moment. But another attempt to go. She'll propose herself, and it'll be in her time now. She'll have 5 minutes to approach that next event. Here he goes in, Baptiste Thierry. This is it for him. It's all or nothing. Can he stay in the competition? High up in the French Alps. Can this man go higher? Oh, no. And in fact, 3 attempts. And they got progressively worse. His first certainly looked to be the closest. So Baptiste Thierry bows out of the competition up here in Devoluy. But opens up his 2025 campaign. A lot to build off. So not quite the impressive start to the season he had in 2024. But sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing. You want to be able to build through the year. You want to be able to have that hungry mentality when you tick all the boxes and vault a PB and a meet record in meet 1. What is there left for you to do? Here he goes, Thibaut Koller. You can tell the energy the crowd bring when this man vaults. They're winning him over. They want to see a matchup. If he doesn't clear it, Bloon is our champion here today, and we'll enjoy and see how far he can go beyond that 570 mark. But we want a competition. That's what we came for. So Thibaut Koller goes over. Third time. Clears it, puff of the cheeks, and now the competition really starts. Two heavy hitters with lifetime bests a centimetre apart have had a slightly different approach in this competition, especially a different pathway. Bloon, a perfect scorecard. Koller struggling. A few hiccups at 570, but now he'll go for victory on his home turf. There's Philippe. Does he have the answers? And will he know what adjustments will need to be made in order to vault that 580? We can only presume the bar will go up to 580. It may well go 575, then 580. Let's see what they have to say, and you can just see here some of the intel that these athletes get immediately after. Analysis is a huge part of the game when it comes to field events. They get that feedback instantly. They'll be in tune enough with their body, but sometimes it takes that external feedback in order to know just what they need to do. So the final attempt is upon us for Elise Russi, a student studying physiotherapy. Goes through her preparation. She would have done 1,000,000 times over already. She's accomplished so much as a junior. And now she aims to replicate that in the senior ranks. And it starts here. It starts at competitions like this. Can you put the pressure on someone like Bernard, who's been there, been to the Olympic Games, competed against the best in the world, represented her nation on the grandest stage of all?
Allez, Elise! Allez, plus fort, du bruit pour Elise Russi!
Elise Russi. This is what it takes with noise all around. How can you channel that energy down the runway and beyond into the skies? Time to go, Elise. The PV waits on the other side.
Marque une championne, Elise Russi. Il sera le premier à ouvrir. Jusqu'à présent, il a été irréprochable dans ses concours. Le duel opposant Thibaut Koller et Menno Vloed.
Well, that's unfortunate. Russi bows out. It will over. It'll be all now be down to Bonat on that women's side. Two men remain on this men's runway. Menno Vloed, look at that scorecard. 576, he'll take a pass. 582, why not? Let's get to business. Okay. Well, work to be done. He's looked impressive up until this point. But 582 for your first competition of the year would be awfully impressive. I mentioned, interestingly, Menno Vloon has done a couple 60-meter races over the past week or two, last weekend, dipping inside 7 seconds, really working on that top-end speed. It's only going to benefit him down that runway. And you can see he gets close there. And he nicks it with the shins. But what we're starting to see is perhaps a little bit of fatigue in some of these men towards, especially if they have to hang in there until their third attempt. That fatigue sets in, and this man will know that more than others, or more than the likes of Vloon after 3 attempts at 570. Here he goes. Thibaut Koller. Builds the energy in this arena. He knows what he has to do. Crowder on his side. Is gravity. Thibaut Koller. Failure at his first attempt. Well, like for like in this men's competition. Nothing to separate these guys.
Tout à l'heure, quand vous avez sollicité Thibaut en tapant dans les mains, on a vu Baptiste Thierry qui avait un petit sourire parce que Thibaut,
unfortunate work.
Du côté des Antilles,
a very, very similar attempt to Menno Vloon, so it's going to come down to fine margins. You look at that, where he's nicked it just on that shin, needs a bit more depth, a bit more height as well. And so those guys will look to execute. Neither of them clear. It's worth reminding you at home that Vloon will win that perfect scorecard. It pays. Not only do you get that extra bit of recovery and that respite in between vaults, less pressure, less stress, and you also have that scorecard, which always works on countback in your favor. So, here we go. Marie-Julie Bonat, former European Under-23 champion, French champion. Interestingly, finished higher up in the Olympic Games as she did at those European Championships in Rome. A big-time performer. 451. Well within her lifetime best of 470. But she is someone who looks to build throughout that season. But great to see her clear first time. Oh. And the silence runs through this arena. As they will wonder whether she has it in her to go clear at that 451 height today or not. She came and jumped 440 last year, so it would be an improvement on that. Still smiles at this stage, holding that bar. And interestingly, pole vault bars, I was talking with someone the other day how they've hit a pretty steady plateau. It's difficult to really improve the technology in this event. Some say has it neared capacity, and now, you know, any sort of performance increases and improvements we see in this event will be largely down to athletes' technical abilities improving, their physical abilities improving. So Thibaut Koller will watch Menno Vloon take his second attempt as he composes himself. These men get 5 minutes in between vaults. That's the normal late on in this competition once you get down to the business end. And if you are attempting a world record, national record, something like that, something in that ballpark, a recognizable record, you get an extra bonus minute as well just to prepare for it and give yourself that extra recovery as well. They're used to having about 10-12 minutes between vaults. And you think you've got 10-12 athletes working off a minute cycle. So the Menno Vloon, 582, second attempt. He's been perfect up until now. Oh, okay. Well, this is much like Thierry Baptiste, who we saw get close on his first attempt and then gradually, over the course of 3 attempts, seems to get further and further away from a clearance. And you would say That's slightly worse than his first attempt. So, Thibaut Koller. Crowd playing their part. If he goes clear, older the table turns. This is a little bit like sudden death at this stage. Because if he clears this, it's all on Bloom. And Thibaut sweeps the competition. One of France's promised men for that next Olympic cycle. Good speed on the runway. It's all about how he plants. He gets up, over. Can he carry that speed into the vault? He can. And that was better, but still no clearance. Oh, they know it. They're just as frustrated as he is. They share that emotion. And that is what's great about this competition and this crowd so close and intimate with the athletes, is they can feel that energy. They can feel that frustration. Oh, you can see he almost had that one. He was able to generate that speed much better into the vault. He got up there quicker, didn't he? Less time for gravity to play its part. Okay, Bonnat. The Bordeaux athlete needs some solid results and some big world ranking points if she's going to go to Nanjing for the World Indoors. That will do. That will do. 4:51. She's confused. She didn't expect this. And sometimes athletes know it's a world lead for her. We're going to see a couple come out of this meet today. That's both men and women boxed sixth. Thank you very, very much. One of the best pole vault competitions throughout the month of January. It really is. But she's delighted with that. And as I was saying, sometimes athletes know. They know what shape they're in and how they've trained. And they would have spent a lot of time in the gym, probably finessing their speed and their strength as opposed to working on all those technical aspects that they'll spend a lot more time working on throughout the regular season. But she's starting to discover how she's feeling and where she's going. Here we go. Where's that bar going? Getting on lip read at home. Where will that bar go next? Will it be 470? Will it be 465? I guess the scorecard said it will move up to 460 at this point. But is she willing to just push the boundaries and just test the waters at something a little higher? Yeah, she's got plenty of time to set herself for that. And so these men and women competitions coming to a climax at pretty much the same time. Have we got more vaulting left on this men's side? Menno to stay in the competition. 11th at the Olympic Games, 8th at the European Championships. He's a man who loves an indoor arena. He set multiple lifetime bests indoors. 596 is that PB. For a bit of context, 582. To stay in and put the pressure on Thibaut Koller. Vloon. Oh my God, how's he done that? How has he done that? Defied gravity. Wow, I've never quite seen a technique like it. Legs fully apart to almost generate that momentum. He almost hooked his left leg over, didn't he? You can see there. His right leg, in fact. Left on picture. Wow. Skims down on it as well. His acrobatic ability in full flow for Menno Vloon. And now Thibaut Koller's just watched that. And he knows he's got to go up there and replicate it. His coach is telling him the obvious, fine margins. Okay, here we go. Nothing would make this crowd happier than this man delivering These two pushing each other on to higher heights. To open your season beyond 582 is impressive. A man like Thibaut Koller, he isn't a regular 590 jumper. That's not normal for him. Especially up until last year, he was consistent in the 570s. But it was a big lifetime best when he went and jumped 595. Here he goes here, Koller, hometown favorite. Oh, it wasn't to be. Not to be today. He bows out of this competition. But, if anything, it's ignited the fire and it's woken his body up from that winter period where these athletes, hibernate would be the wrong word, but they shut themselves away, they work in the shadows, they hone their craft, they get into a heavy, heavy base period in order to survive what is going to be 8 months of pretty much non-stop competing. They'll have a few breaks in there, like through that spring period, post the World Indoors, but they'll be back out on the circuit at the end of April, May time. And they'll ask a lot of their bodies over the next 8 months. So they need that 4 months of base work, perhaps a few weeks to recover, and then everything builds. And he'll look to build throughout this campaign. Hey, look, him and Vloon, quite the rivalry, quite the matchup. We're going to hear from him live, trackside.
La campagne de l'année précédente s'est soldée par différentes émotions, il faut dire comme ça. Il faut oublier ce qu'on appelle faire le deuil. C'est comme au golf. Il faut faire le deuil des bonnes et des mauvaises choses pour repartir d'un bon pied. Aujourd'hui, on a vu, ça y est, c'est parti, c'est reparti.
Ouais, comme tu dis, l'année 2024, ça a été une année un peu bizarre pour moi, parce que c'était hyper bien parti. Après, ça s'est moins bien passé au mois d'août. Derrière, il y a eu des trucs compliqués à gérer aussi, qui ont été fatigants et qui ont repoussé un peu la reprise. Donc, on va dire qu'aujourd'hui, je suis quand même déçu, parce que bon, j'aurais bien aimé faire 82. Bon, c'est pas pour aujourd'hui. On va dire que 70, c'est le minimum. On va dire que aussi la saison va être longue, donc il faut prendre le temps. La préparation, elle n'a pas été axée pour être à 10 000% aujourd'hui. Maintenant, j'aurais aimé faire mieux. C'est la vie, c'est le sport, c'est pas mauvais. Et puis, en tout cas, c'est une très belle compète. Donc, merci à Franck et à toutes les équipes. Et un dernier petit mot, c'est un joyeux anniversaire à Laurent Mang qui fête ses 60 ans aujourd'hui. Voilà.
Donc, on vous disait, au niveau, merci infiniment, Thibaut.
Well, nicely put. Thibaut Koller, he was the headline act of this competition. There's no doubt about that. However, he's been outshone here today by Menno Vloon, who we will continue to see push that bar up into potentially the 490s as he scraped himself, wiggled himself over 5 meters and 82. Now, this lady won this competition quite some time ago when she cleared 431, but now 461. Straight through it, a forward roll. And at this stage, she's probably needing everything to go right to get up over 461. I know it's still below her, and she is more than capable of 470, but just at this stage of the season, you know, that you wouldn't expect them to quite be operating in that PB territory unless they really are predicting and on a trajectory of a massive lifetime best over the next few months building into that indoor campaign. So she'll compose herself again. She'll have a 5 minutes interval before her next vault. And she has had, you know, a number of vaults as well. It is around about 8 or 9 where you do hit your peak, a lot of these vaulters say, and sort of beyond that then starts to affect how you're going to vault. You're really asking a lot of your body, a lot of your nervous system to really squeeze everything out. So Menno Vloon even took his spikes off as he celebrated what was the victory after clearing 582. And now I'm intrigued because he will fully be on him to decide where this bar goes. Well, not only do we have pole vault to offer, you can see a few willing to climb, get a better perspective, get a better view of the competition. That would be something. Well, as Meno prepares, the crowd wonder, what are we going to see? Look at this, then we get some up-close shots of Marie-Julie Bonnat. Mentally engaging. So much of these sorts of disciplines are about visualization, the power of the mind, and what that can do. Yeah, not only is it a physical event, like all events in our sport of athletics, it does rely on mindset, your ability to believe, but also your ability to execute, stay calm, and do what you do best under pressure. These two athletes, though, they won't have any pressure over the next 3, possibly more jumps. So that balloon there, you can see him just tacking up, making sure he's got enough grip on that pole. Last thing you want is to slip through that pole, and that sometimes happens when you see athletes just run through. They're not too sure about whether they're going to be able to kind of hold on to it and propel themselves up over that bar. So these are the thorough preparations. This is why they get 5 minutes in between vaults. And it is to really make sure, firstly, they are fully prepared to vault over, well, a couple-storied house, in essence. The Meno Vloon, if you go purely on how he started this competition, he would have been the bookie's favourite to be here to take the victory. And I can't believe it, he's going for 6 meters. And this is why I think it's taken him a little bit longer. Can we see something special? I mentioned about 6 meters being an exclusive club. Can this man join it? 5.96, his lifetime best and national record. But oh, 6 meters is sweet. Vloon on his first attempt. Oh, well, it might just be a little bit ambitious, eh? He's already got that world lead of 5.82. He'll have a couple more attempts, and athletes don't get many chances to attack this in competitions. You think when he vaulted his lifetime best, yeah, he would have had the chance to go on and vault further and try and clear 6 meters. However, you think if he's in a higher profile competitions, European champs, Olympic games, that bar just steadily going up. You haven't got that freedom to really attempt 6 meters in a competition setting like this. So, oh, he wasn't as far away as he first looked, was he? Just clipping that with his shins. I mean, it was a similar technique. He managed to wrestle his way over 5.82. So, on the contrast to that, Bonnat failed to fully attempt her first vault. Here she goes, though. Round number 2. Oh, okay. Nicks it on the way down. She knows she's close. We know it too. We can see it. We're lucky enough to watch this fantastic up-and-coming talent from France. And I must say, vaulting in France is in a fantastic place. You look at competitions like this, and just this women's field alone, 10 French athletes and 2 Spaniards to complete the lineup. But throughout the weekend, and this is partly who the crowd is made up of, throughout the Friday, Saturday, we've had 150 people come through this arena and vault. This is the category A, effectively the elite category. And it went all the way down to category E. Obviously, these pools done on ability, and right down to a sort of regional, domestic club level. Athletes who are getting involved in this sport for perhaps the first time, and some who are also very accomplished and very experienced, and everything in between. And that is what's special about these exclusive vaulting meets.
On sait qu'ici, les perches, c'est en deux les jambes pour remonter les pentes.
Well, there we are. Look, you can see the public interacting with Bonash. She has a wry smile on her face as well, as we patiently wait to see what can this woman do next. He knows he's going to take a lot. Menno on the other hand, also patiently waiting for his second attempt. And you think there, maybe, just watching back his previous vaults, or maybe just noting down a few areas where he's gone wrong, documenting. We've seen similar athletes do this on the circuit, haven't we? Whether it be pen and paper or on their phone, documenting what I need to do next time. So when they walk away from this competition, it is fresh in their mind. They can then reflect, take that on board. So Thibaut Koller, his competition was wrapped up, came very, very close to pushing Vloon, and I wonder if he would have been keen to attack 6 meters as well. You can see those clocks counted down. I believe Vloon over on the far side, is that saying 4:15, something like that? He gets up off his seat, and he looks like he may well be ready to attack 6 meters once again. I mentioned he would have not approached this mark too many times in his career already. The Dutchman really has led the way for his countrymen and women in this event. He's been so consistent over the years as well. A great story. He's in a running relationship with a fellow Dutch superstar as well on the track, both of them devoting countless hours to training and honing their craft. So attacking himself up again. That lifetime best of 5:96 dates back to 2021. Boy, that would be a monkey off the back if he can take that early on in 2025. Did jump 5:92 last year though, so he knows he's possible. He is a regular over the 5:90s, and like I said, he's almost just on the cusp. He's got the ability to really go there and sneak a medal one day, or a top 5 finish at these global championships, but he would just need to produce his very best on the day, and that's the difficult part. I mean, we saw Corrales this year produced his best on the day, and you look at the likes of Vloon, and you go there and you jump 5:96, you are going to be in that ballpark for a medal or just outside. Anything can happen. So here he goes then. The Flying Dutchman, Menno Vloon. 6 meters, his second attempt. Is there more to this story? A feat like no other. This would be a national record. It would be a lifetime best. And he would also write his name in the history books as one of the few who have cleared this famous mark. Oh, well, adopted the same approach, didn't he? That same tactic that he adopted when he cleared 5:82. Incredibly, by the way. And he did get close then as well. But perhaps just needs to, that tactic may work at those slightly lower heights, but perhaps just needs to tidy things up just a fraction in order to really maximize that speed and power up over the bar. He was tight on the way up. He just loses it at the top there, doesn't he? That's when his legs split. And that left leg of his seems to drift out.
Dumont à 4,61 m parce qu'on va tout faire. Public de Devoluy pour lui donner 300 supplémentaires et une barre suivante. Alors, si vous le voulez bien, une fois qu'elle est prête, on va l'accompagner.
29 men
Du fond du cœur, du fond du trip, du fond des
are a member of that 6 meter club. Okay, here we go. All eyes on this woman. Marie-Julie Bonnat. I repeat, just outside the road to Nanjing on those world rankings, sits 17th in the world on those. This will help. This will put her in the mix that little bit more. Can she go clear? Oh, nicks it with her foot. By far and away our best attempt. Thanks to the crowd who have been mightily impressive, almost as impressive as these athletes out here today. So have those officials. It's what our sport's all about. Coming together already and celebrating what should be a fantastic year for this woman. But I think perhaps her reaction for me when she cleared 5:51 said it all. She seemed relieved. She seemed surprised. And perhaps she knows where her shape is at the moment and what she was expecting here today. I think she just wanted to come away with the win, an athlete of this stature. And she's done that. She's ticked that box. And so she doesn't look too concerned about not clearing 4:61 there. And it's an 11 centimeter improvement on what she vaulted last year as well.
Je suis avec Marie-Julie. Marie-Julie, bravo pour cette performance. Je pense que ce concours t'a grandement satisfait, surtout en ce début de saison.
Honnêtement, oui. J'ai repris la perche il y a quelques semaines, donc c'est vrai que j'avais pas trop de repères. C'était l'occasion de prendre des perches et de l'élan, c'est fait. Maintenant, j'ai hâte de sauter au Star Perche dans une semaine à Bordeaux.
Et oui, parce que le Star Perche, c'est ton événement. Tu vas être la star chez toi. Est-ce que tu veux nous en dire deux mots de plus, vu que ce sera la deuxième étape du Perche Elite Tour?
Honnêtement, ça va être juste incroyable. Le public à Bordeaux est excellent, même si ici, franchement, vous nous avez bien encouragés. Donc merci à tous et on se donne rendez-vous à Bordeaux.
Rendez-vous à Bordeaux et s'il vous plaît, on peut applaudir bien fort Marie-Julie Bonnat.
Whoa, there we are. Congratulate Marie-Julie Bonnat. The crowd thank her for coming out and she repays the favor as well. So we can just see to the right a picture. That is Vloon walking around, prepping himself as we summarize those win results. Head and shoulders above the rest, wasn't she? Bonnat 4:51 for the win and the world lead. Sits on top. Elise Russi coming very, very close to her lifetime best. Almost went clear at 4:41. Didn't quite. And there you can see Jokard and Nayera Galindo. Joint 10, 386. Couldn't quite get their competition off the ground. So every single person in this arena is waiting to see what this man can do.
La salle est sur la tête. S'il ne passe pas, quoi qu'il arrive, on n'échappera pas à la standing ovation.
And what we love about this sport is there will only be two reactions to what happens here. An unfortunate sigh and an echo of silence, or sheer eruption if this man goes clear at 6 meters. There's no in between. It's either one or the other. It's opposite ends of the spectrum. And developing into his prime, the Dutchman has a crowd of his own. And perhaps those orange walls behind him will feel like home just a little bit. What can he do? The crowd, you can see them get up on their feet. As Melo Vloon asks something of himself that he has never ever done before. This is unknown territory. This is new waters. Raises his arms. You see that fascinating self-talk. It's always interesting how each one of these athletes approach things slightly differently. Vloon to announce himself as one of the best boulders in the world of 2025. Oh! Well, there you have it. I think he was so focused on getting enough speed down that runway in order to deliver what he needed to get up over that bar that he just lost control a little bit, didn't he, in that final 10 5-meter section just before the plant. But what an impressive competition. Let's hear from this man.
The organizing committee to tell you thank you. Thank you and congratulations. Au nom du comité d'organisation avant tout, merci et bravo pour cette performance. Did you expect to have a bar of 6 meters today, just before this competition? Tu espérais tenter 6 mètres avant cette épreuve?
Not yet, really. Damien make me a little bit crazy, but I need it, so that's good.
faut que je vous explique. On a un entraîneur français qui s'appelle Damien Osensio qui s'occupe des Japonais, des Chinois. Et il m'a donné des conseils, mais il m'a surtout rendu un peu fou et j'en ai besoin. Au-delà de cela, on te revoit quand en France? What will be your next competition in France?
I think in 2 weeks, but I don't know which one. Maybe Rouen?
Rouen in 2 weeks. Ouais, yes, Rouen. On te reverra in Rouen, and I imagine you will be ready to jump over 6 meters. On imagine que tu seras prêt à sauter au-dessus de 6 mètres.
Yeah, it's a little bit early maybe for now, but I will jump 6 meters this season.
C'est peut-être pas encore pour maintenant, mais je vous promets que je vais passer 6 mètres cette saison. Mesdames et messieurs, Menno Vloon.
Wow, what an insightful interview that was. Menno Vloon announcing he will jump over 6 meters this season. Well, he came close today. 5.82 for the win. World lead enemy record, by the way. Thibaut Coller battering him off. The stiff opposition from the Frenchman, 5.17 in third. Baptiste Thierry with 5.61. Mathieu Coller, Thibaut's older brother, 5.51 in fourth. And then down the pecking order, good jumping from Shenyang Li. He was looking much better than the 5.51 he was awarded at the end of the day. And Hoyang Song and Ziyao, disappointing 5.21 from them. But they'll look to build through their European season on the circuit here. It's been a fantastic evening of pole vaulting. And I must say, the road to Nanjing, China, indoors, and of course the World Championships in Tokyo outdoors in September continues. Menno Vloon will have one eye on those European Championships in Apeldoorn, in his home country. There are 5 more World Tour pole vault competitions to look forward to as well. Next up will be in Bordeaux, and we will wrap up at the end of the indoor season in Clermont on the 28th of February. It's been an absolute delight to host you all. I've been your commentator this evening, Matt Seddon, and until next time, take care.
Et sont attendus au podium également Menno Vloon, Thibaut Coller, Baptiste Thierry are expecting for the award ceremony.